me tell you a story. I'm sitting in this McDonald's, just waiting for my best friend to make a decision. Now, he's not deciding what food he should order. He's not deciding what we're gonna do after this. He's deciding what gift he should get for his girlfriend. You see, me and my best friend were traveling in Montreal at the time, and he wanted to get gifts for everyone to bring something back for them. Now, the thing is, when it comes to making decisions, my friend isn't the most decisive person. He often takes a long time to think of things and try to consider everything so he can find the best option. The thing about this day was, we had spent all day going to shops with him looking for a gift for his girlfriend. I had been waiting all day for him to make a decision, and at this point I was fed up, tired, and I just wanted to go to sleep. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries because I wanted to let him actually decide what to get, but it was getting to the point where I just wanted to buy something for him so he could finally be done with it. After 30 minutes of waiting, I'm just sitting on my phone trying to do something, trying to keep myself occupied while I anxiously wait for my friend to actually make a decision. And he's tried everything he can think of, but nothing seems to fit. So he finally leans over to me and asks me, "Colby, what do you think I should get her?" Without really thinking much, I just turn to him and say, "Why don't you just get a pair of chopsticks?" It's at this point that his eyes light up and tells me, "That's perfect. We finally figured it out." Now the thing is, my friend was inherently bad at eating food. He always made a mess wherever he went, and he would get crumbs everywhere whenever he ate, and he was especially bad at using chopsticks. And what was perfect about this idea was, before me and my friend left, him and his girlfriend were supposed to go on a date where they went and had sushi, and she taught him how to use chopsticks at that date. And life got in the way, and they never ended up actually going on that date, so this gift was perfect so that when he got back, she could actually show him how to use the chopstick. I had never seen my friend so happy with an idea that I'd given him. And as we were actually going to buy the chopstick, he looked at me and asked, "How do you come up with that? I thought about this all day and I couldn't figure out anything, and you just had that instantly. How did you get that idea?" That started to get me to think that the best ideas that we ever have are the ones that come to us very quickly and seem to create themselves, instead of us trying to force the idea and keep thinking until we eventually find the perfect thing. The best ideas are the ones that simply kind of come out of the blue. Now you're probably thinking, that story has nothing to do with actually writing anything, or how do I get past writer's block, and you just want to know the answer. But the thing that story teaches you, writer's block isn't something that you can force your way through. And even if you can and you push yourself to get those ideas out, that they're never really that fulfilling, and they never seem to feel right. Trust me, I have faced a lot of writer's block in my day, from writing music and actually working on albums and trying to write lyrics and write songs and chord progressions and make beats and produce and do all these different creative things and script YouTube videos and think of stories to tell. There's been a lot of times where I've faced writer's block as not only as a musician but just a creator in general. It's extremely frustrating when all you want to do is finish that project and actually start putting it out there, or laying new tracks once you have all the lyrics done, but you get so caught up in that one little thing is missing and you can't find it, and it can feel so daunting to overcome that block. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly the tips that I use to overcome writer's block, because a lot of the advice out there is absolutely horrible. The first thing that you need to do if you want to overcome your writer's block is stop trying to be perfect. Let me repeat that. Stop trying to be perfect. So many people are focused on making their song perfect. Every word needs to be aligned with how they think it should be, and if it's not, they just scrap the song. Or they're drawing inspiration from somewhere else, and while they're making the beat, the drums don't quite sound right, or the hi-hat sound is too high, or the guitar tone has too much reverb or not quite enough. When you're trying to write and when you're trying to create, you need to be fine with having some things that you're not 100% happy with and not 100% satisfied with. Because when you're writing a song, the sound that the hi-hats are making doesn't really matter with the beat, or it doesn't really matter what your guitar tone is. And I used to get so caught up with this while I was trying to arrange songs like in Logic, or I was actually writing a song. I'd get stuck on a certain section, or there was a sound that I didn't like, and I spent all my time trying to fix that. And I tried to make it sound 100% like I wanted it. But the thing is, you'll never be satisfied with anything you create. There's always going to be something you think you could have done better, or a word that you're not 100% satisfied with. And with this, I'm not saying don't focus on the quality of your songs and don't put stuff out there that you're not proud of. But the majority of people don't have that problem. Majority of people are trying to be too perfect. They're inspired by songs they hear, and they're trying to make their songs sound exactly like that. They want their guitar tone to be perfect. They want every single lyric to match up with the subject and make 100% sense to them. But the thing is, when someone's listening to your song, they really don't notice all those little things that you're always thinking about and all the perfection that you're trying to go for. Your average listener doesn't notice that. You need to be willing to move on and be detached from what you're creating. Your self-worth doesn't depend on the quality of the songs that you write. And if there's something that you're not 100% satisfied with, that's okay. It's okay in the beginning if not everything is perfect, or the bridge doesn't feel 100% right and you think you can make it better. If you want to write your song and you want to complete it, you need to let it become what it's going to become. You can't be so focused on trying to mold it to perfection and mold it to exactly the way that you want it to, because like I talked about in the beginning, the best ideas just come to us naturally. Sometimes we don't expect our writing to go in that direction, and it does, and that's how the best songs are written. We get into that state of flow and we just start writing, and the song basically writes itself. We don't have to do much thinking. But when you're too focused on making your song exactly like something else, or trying to perfect every single little detail and make it 100% perfect, you're never actually going to be satisfied with what you want to make, because your song will never be good enough if all you're focused on is perfection. The second thing you need to do is take some time to get your mind off of what you're creating. I noticed in the past few months when I was still in Canada that my songwriting didn't feel the same as it once was. I felt I was in this block. I felt like I was always writing about the same topic and my mind wasn't anywhere new. And as of today, I've been in New Zealand for a week and a half, and this whole trip, pretty much all I've been doing has been writing. Just getting out and getting into a new environment and getting into a new place has inspired me to write about so many different things. And you're creating something based on experiences you've gone through. Sometimes you need to actually go and get new experiences. So there's nothing wrong from taking a break from songwriting in general. Now, I'm not saying just stop and quit, but if there's a song that you've been working on for 3 or 4 days and you're just stuck, just leave it for a few days. Go focus on something else. Go try and write a different one. And eventually you're gonna go through life and your mind is gonna get off of that. And then when you come back, the ideas will just flow out and you'll finish the song. Sometimes if you just take a step back from what you're creating and you just take a little break for a while, naturally you're gonna come back more refreshed and more inspired, because you're just gonna go through life finding new things that are genuinely inspiring to you, and the song's gonna write itself. You're gonna have the ideas just flow. And the biggest thing with songwriting is getting into that state of flow. You need to get your mindset in a place where you don't really think, where you just write and you just create, because when we're trying to be so analytical and when we're always overthinking what we're writing, naturally we scrap stuff and we don't like the way it feels, and the best songs just kind of write themselves. Like I said in the beginning, you need to be willing to get your mind off what you're doing. I've also really found it helpful to change your environment, change where you're writing. Trying to write a song in your bedroom is a lot different than writing a song sitting off the edge of a mountain, New Zealand, staring at the sea. It's a very different vibe, and you have very different ideas and thought processes. Inspiration comes in many different ways, and I've really found it helpful to actually go somewhere like in nature, go for a hike, bring your guitar, or just bring like your notepad and start writing somewhere other than your bedroom, right outside. Go somewhere where it feels extremely peaceful, because you're gonna find that you get in a state of flow naturally if you change your environment, and you'll start to notice this in your writing. The final thing that will help you overcome your writer's block is collaborate with others, because the thing is, you can't do it all yourself. I've tried, trust me. I've always wanted to do everything on a song and everything on an album myself, from recording the drums to making the bass line, writing the chords, arranging it, putting on the vocals on, and doing the mix, because I like to do all these different things and I enjoy creating a song from scratch and doing the whole thing. But the thing with this is, you can't do everything yourself. Other people will have ideas that you never would have thought of, and the best creations come when we collaborate with others, because they have their own unique perspective and their own unique ideas that you can mix into a song and take it somewhere where you never would have been able to take it yourself. Now, the thing is, when collaborating with other people, they don't actually have to be other musicians. I've found it helpful sometimes to just talk to someone about a song I'm writing, or just show them and ask them what they think. And they'll say something like, oh, you should do like a wee-dee-dee-dee part with the keyboard, and then I'll get an idea, even though they're not musical at all and they have no idea what's going on from like a theoretical perspective or a songwriting perspective, but they just have an idea of where they want it to go, and that can help give you direction. It's the same with lyrics. Just ask someone what they think about what you've been writing, and be okay with being vulnerable and not having it all perfect. I used to get really insecure and not want to show anyone what I was working on and want to do it all myself, because I was scared of their criticism. but criticism is what makes us better. Having people tweak ideas, especially if they're experienced in our field, like they're someone who's written a lot of other songs, and you show a song that you're writing and ask them for advice. Oh, like, what do you think about these lyrics? Or should the bridge do something different? Naturally, they're gonna have ideas and perspectives, and they don't even have to be someone who's musical, but you wanna write your songs for other people, right? So having someone else's perspective can really help you get that sense of direction if you're feeling lost when trying to write your songs. I understand how hard it can be to get past that creative block and be able to succeed in your creative endeavors, because what happens to a lot of people, they want to make an album or they want to write songs and put them out there, but they start writing and they get scared and they just end up quitting and scrapping everything that they've worked on. The thing is though, with music, songwriting, and anything in life, the only way that you actually end up failing is when you quit. It's when you stop writing songs. It's when you lose that passion for creating. And there's nothing wrong with moving on in life. But if music is what you want to do and you want to be a songwriter and you want to put songs out there for people to listen to, then you have to be willing to keep pushing forward. And even if you're not 100% satisfied with something, you need to be willing to still put it out there and still keep working on it and still keep pushing forward, because this is how we make progress in life. We'll never be 100% satisfied with our creations, but as long as we keep moving forward, we're going to keep making progress and keep getting better. And to me, that's the true joy of creating.